All right. Say that again, Sherry, now that we're on recording. So,
Okay, so as soon as I go back to the seller, and as soon as the agent who won the listing comes to them and says these two words, price reduction, I want you to remember my name and remember I told you the truth. And that is the opportunity to fire that agent and hire the one with integrity.
That's really good. I like that. I did go back
Wow,
to them.
that's
and
strong.
It is, yeah. I went back to him. I said, look, I'm taking your comments about being casual to heart, but please be very cautious about overpricing. And I said, the price I gave you was the best you're going to get. And that was a couple months ago, and things have changed. So be very cautious about overpricing because it has ramifications. Anyways, that's where I left it. But anyway.
Well, you can even go farther and ask them to write those two words down, write price reduction, put them on your refrigerator. And when you hear them, put my card with it and I'm your person to call. I mean, you can get dramatic. What are you going to do? Lose a listing? But you've already done that.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
Yeah, that's funny. I like it.
Hey, Kev, Brent Gove talks about that yesterday. You missed it. But what you just said about being too nonchalant, that feedback that your clients gave, Brent talks about losing a listing to Rick. You remember it's not Steve, it's Hillier. Steve Hillier,
Yeah.
who's now in Brent's EXP business, but before they were competing brokerages. And Brent lost a listing to Steve Hillier because and he said, what was it? What did I do? He went back to the client and actually humbled himself and said, how can you give me some feedback? What did I do? And he said, well, you just didn't want it enough. We just felt like the other guy really wanted it. And that was like a cup of cold water, a bucket of cold water in Brent's face. And he was like, for the next 20 listings, he was like, whatever you want, you jump, you say how I will say how high I will be at your doorstep at 4 a.m. with coffee, like whatever you need. And not from a desperation, like, an imbalanced, homeless dude, who's like, stalking you, but from just an energetic, excited, yet professional, I am committed 100% in your corner. There's nobody that will outwork me. There is nobody that will out hustle me.
Yeah.
I will bring all the energy and I will make this happen. There's nobody more committed to selling your house for top dollar than me. And there's
Right.
an energy there that's catchy and you can even feel it.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah. And he did, Tom, I don't know if I missed you saying this, but he said that how he learned that was somebody he had brought into the real estate business, helped them get a license and trained them. And that guy went out and beat Brent at a listing. And that's when he upped his game. Was that,
Right.
Did you say that part already?
Yeah, I did say that. That was at the
Yeah,
beginning.
okay.
Yes. Steve Hillier was the guy who did that. I don't know if you heard me say that, but yeah.
I heard you say Steve Hillier, but I thought he said the name of someone else. Okay. You know the guy or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do know Steve Hillier. Good guy.
Oh,
And
okay. That's why I
would-
didn't remember that name. I thought Steve Hillier was never
the
mind.
client.
No,
Well, anyway.
yes. I thought when you said Steve Hillier, you were talking about a guy that you and Stephen Ross brought up that was a coach that you both knew. So sorry.
Oh yeah, that's Steve Scholl. Different
Okay,
Steve.
I got too many Steves going on in the head.
Too
My
many
bad.
Steves. So Rick, if you just hit record, does that mean I have to repeat everything I said at the beginning all over again?
No, I hit record. Oh yeah,
Just
all the
kidding.
stuff. Yes, all the stuff from before.
Just kidding. I won't bore everybody.
Yeah. So
I'm just disappointed. Just kidding. I'm good.
all right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now I still haven't heard anybody talk about what Chapter 11 was, and I'm sorry, but I can't pull it up right now. I'm being left out of my sign-in. So
I just briefly looked and it was about CRMs.
okay, good. Was there any homework assignments or downloads?
I briefly looked at it, so I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's
no worries.
the best I got for it.
Yeah. Colin, are you up to Chapter 11 or are you not?
Yeah, so I just went ahead and did chapter 11 and 12 because I didn't know if I was behind a week and I couldn't find, because I was on the video last week. So
That's
I
okay.
understood the rest of it.
That's dude,
There was parts about the CRM though.
okay. So, and then was there any downloads or homework assignments?
No,
Okay. And then what did you learn about CRMs in general from listening?
really, just sticking to a CRM and actually using it. Because a lot of, every agent has a CRM, but not every agent actually uses it. So
Yeah. Okay, well, I think the thing that will be very, very vital for us all to pay attention to is that next week is week 12, okay? And so that will be our last call. But what's it? I have a Facebook group called
Zippy
Zippy
zappies.
Zappies, where I do KV Core short training videos. Okay, thank you for everybody that's using. We are trying to get better and better at KV Core, and not because it's free, but because it is, by some of the best techie experts in the country, an incredible CRM. You all have access to a free KV Core account. And learning to use it would be very, very beneficial. I'm not the guy to coach on that, but I can tell you that I spend money to make sure that we're using it properly and that we're getting the most out of it that we possibly can. Does that make sense to everybody? Good. The other thing too that I'm pushing heavily is, I'm trying to see where I have it here. Oh, I have it right here, is the, obviously I've told so many people about this book since first meeting the guy and interviewing, and I get to meet him in person in Dallas. He's coming to Dallas. He's going to be at our little thing. We have a little, I don't know here who's going to Dallas, but we've got something going on on Tuesday morning. Does anybody have that link for the Tuesday morning thing that they could put into the
I do.
chat? Beth, do you have it? You have it, Kevin? Okay.
Yeah, I do, Rick.
Okay, if one of you guys would put it in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. No, that's a Facebook thing.
Hold on. Getting
Yeah.
better.
I'm looking for the
Damn it.
event that Casey and I are doing Tuesday morning to get everybody prepared
Hold
for.
on. Okay, now I got it.
Yeah,
Which we're very excited to come to, Rick, just saying.
thank you. We will have, oh, and it may not be updated in the link, but this is who will be in the room. Brent Gove and Gene Frederick, Dave Canor, the president of the company, and Jason Gessing, the CEO of the company, will all be coming to this private room that we've rented to. We were going to have it just in our hotel room, but it ended up being more people than we could hold in one hotel room. So we've rented a room to do it in, and there'll be some snacks and drinks and stuff like that. Not cocktails, but beverages. So I think 10
Cocktails
to,
at 10 a.m.
what's that?
I said cocktails at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I was
Mimosas.
saying. There'll be no cocktails or mimosas. Colin, since you were so,
Well, I'm not going then.
Colin, since you were so on
Just
top of
kidding.
things, do you remember what the scroll was for this chapter? And who can look that up? What?
I definitely did. I read the whole book really.
Yeah.
Like I bought the Audible because reading wasn't my forte, so I ended up listening to it like within like the third week.
Nice. And do you
So I
remember
knew
what
it
this?
was.
Okay. Does anybody remember what the scroll was for chapter 11?
I'm with Vanessa, so I also don't have my book, so
That's okay. Vanessa's a bad influence that way. Don't worry.
a little bit.
Kidding.
So one thing I did learn this week was I think I definitely need to amp up my points. So I've been doing 183 points, which would be 61 points for 3 days.
Yeah.
And for the full 5 days, 61 points. And I initially made that my goal because I knew that was a number like I could do fairly easy. And I'm obviously, you guys don't know this, but I gravitate towards not mets, people I don't know whenever
Yeah.
I'm lead generating. Just because it's easier and stuff. Like it's my follow-up game's not the best either. So I think definitely.
So like, are you talking about like door knocking? What are you talking about? How do you find your
yeah,
not
door
net?
knocking for sell by owners.
Yeah.
Going off my website, the little that I
Yeah.
get.
Let me stop right there, Colin, because you are probably the youngest person on here, even though I don't know how old Rebecca Terry is, but you are always very driven to succeed at a high level. For those of you that don't know, Gary Keller wrote a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and he basically separated out all the people in the world to what he called Mets and have not mets. Those are people I've met before and people I have not met. So we all have about maybe 2,000 to 4,000 people that we've met and 7.8 billion people that we haven't met. Would you agree? So he talks about have not mets, and I love that Colin, who is about the same age as the MREA book itself, knows that. Isn't that a good one, Vanessa? Yeah. So he already knows the difference and how to create from have not mets. A lot of people gravitate towards mets because it's easier to have a conversation with people you know, but there are a lot of people, lots that I've met in my career. They say, I'd rather not talk to people I know because they always say I come across salesy. And instead of working on that, what do? They say they just surrender to that. I'm just not going to sound salesy to the people I know, love, and trust. So I'll go to the have not mets, and that's fine. But what you'll build up is mets. Once you have not met them, but then you do because of a FSBO or expired or a door knock. Guess what they just became? They went from a have not met to a met. And that's how a lot of cold callers build their met database. And it works amazingly well. Ralph Hurtado, who I recruited into real estate at 10 years old, he finally became a realtor at 20 years old, and he's been in the business 18 years at 38 years old. He's a perfect example of that because he just didn't really have a database and didn't like people enough to create one. All right. But he's built it from his have not met database. So that's very good to know. And that's why even Ryan on the previous call said, why are CRMs so important? Because your brain alone can handle about 150 contacts. Your CRM can handle thousands. Your brain will forget, your CRM won't. Make sense to everybody? Go ahead, Vanessa.
So there's no 11, scroll 11, there's just scroll 10. What am
No, I know that, but I'm talking about the scroll that was mentioned in chapter 11 of RAMP. That's what I meant.
I don't have that book in front of me.
So if anybody finds it, because if you have printed out the workbook, which I have, but it's at my other house, it'll tell you what the scroll was for that also. I just very frustrated right now because I couldn't, the last few weeks, I haven't been able to sign into my account and pull up RAMP. So, but if you guys if you can pull up, any of you pull up your RAMP and go to the workbook and say, what was the thing, that would be great too. Now, let's go to this. We have a lot of people on that never say anything. They listen. And I know listening is okay because you're taking notes and you're finding out the things you want. But I would love for the, all of you to bring up anything over 11 weeks of RAMP that has frustrated you or you want to learn to do better. Okay. Because here's the thing.
You should just go to the workbook.
The majority of us will not do anything. It's okay. It's not a bad thing, but it doesn't get you the results you're looking for. We'll just freeze. We'll sit on our ass, but we're not sitting on our ass to be lazy. We're sitting on our ass out of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Out of lack of a decision to do something different. In other words, it's throwing the balls up in the air and saying, gosh, I just don't know which one of these balls I could grab and hold on to, as opposed to just picking one and doing it. And Brent said that over and over again yesterday. He just said, pick something, just pick something and do it. Like, so when he talked about how he picked open houses, he even talked about, they talked about a guy named Chris Okamura, who is like a legend in a lot of our own minds. Like Casey and I honor the guy. I think, Tom, you know him, this is a guy who was buffed and worked out all the time and literally almost got killed by COVID. Like he was near death. And I don't know that he's even back to 100% now, several months, almost a year since he had it. But here's a guy who, when he was broke, Brent challenged him to do 30 open houses in 30 days. He did it. He put 7 in contract in 1 month, 30 open houses in 30 days. Some of the days he did 2 in 1 day. He'd do like a 10 to 1 and a 2 to 5, things like that, right? So that's the kind of thing that when you really want to succeed, you'll do anything. You'll do anything. And remember, the word succeed isn't a comparative statement. Only you decide what succeed means to you. Only you. Right? Does it take a house a month for you? That's success. Good. Go get your one house a month. Like right now, I mean, I look at my lifestyle, one house a month, I'd be broke. I'd literally be broke. But we all have what we call success. Okay? Figure it out. All right? So really good stuff that I'm getting out of the RAMP program myself. And by doing it over and over again with all of you, this is my 4th RAMP with my EXP peeps. And I'd done it twice before. I know the book, I know it in and out. I'm just upset at myself for not being able to get into my assignment. But it's really, really, really a program that has helped me dramatically. And as I said, on September 28th, write this down, you guys, on September 28th, okay? That is a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 1st. I think it's a Wednesday, isn't it, Kyle? Yeah, it's a Wednesday. We're doing the launch call about SLAM, okay? So that day, just have it as a notice. We'll get out notification to everybody about what time and what's the Zoom link. But that's the day we're going to do the launch call about the SLAM program. All right. And then we'll get started shortly after that. And there'll be a different Zoom link and, you know, we'll be getting going on it. But I'm super excited for us to close out the year with SLAM because of what's possible for us in 2023 using what we learned at SLAM there. Okay. So, all right. I probably talked your ears off, and I want to thank Tom and Kevin and Sherry and Colin and everybody, everybody that contributed to the discussion today. Beth and Tom for getting us started off with being excited about meeting Tom Costello in person if you haven't, but also getting to see that other guy, Tony Robbins, on Thursday. From 1 to 6, I think is what time he'll be talking in Dallas next week. So, all right. Anybody have any other questions, comments, thoughts, ahas? Vanessa, thank you for being such a participant. I love it. And I'll see
I'll
you next week.
contribute.
Oh yeah, Rebecca Terry from all the way from
Okay.
Oklahoma.
Yes. So
Turn on your camera and quit being shy.
I'm traveling today. As Vanessa
Oh.
knows, I have sweet babies an hour
Oh.
away from her office. So I'm traveling, but I wanted to listen in. But if there's one thing that I could take away from this program so far, Vanessa could tell you I was more of a realtor that always wanted to keep the peace with every single client, make everything okay all the time. And from surrounding myself with leaders in your program, I've just learned, you know, it is okay to have uncomfortable situations, even if you think they're going to take away a sale, because I did that a few weeks ago when I found out a client was kind of realtor jumping, and I just had a conversation and I said, I don't want to step on any other realtors' toes, but these are the services that I can provide for you. So you can continue to work with me, or you can go find another realtor, and I'm okay either way. So got him under contract this week, and I'm listing his house next week. So I'm just learning that the more open you are with your people, they're almost going to be like, well, she's not bullshitting. So it's been really, I wouldn't have done that a few weeks ago. So thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for sharing that success story. That's what we want to hear, Rebecca Terry. And if I sounded like you sound when you speak, man, I'd probably do a lot more business. I should have you record my voicemail every night, every day. So
I'll remember to hit record.
well, I will take you up on that. Okay. That was really good. Thank you for that last bit of input. Also, if you guys are looking at the chat, you can grab the link. If you're going to be in Dallas next week, please register to come to our little event 10 to noon on Tuesday morning before the event starts. The event starts at 2 o'clock. we really hope that you'll be there. And if not, be here next Friday, 10 a.m. for our final ramp call. Bring on guests, bring anything you want. We're going to do a wrap up of the whole program, and we're going to talk about ways to change your results going forward for the rest of the year. Okay. Now, I grabbed my book and I just opened it, and guess where it opened to? I don't know if it's the right one for this week, but it's the one that resonated with me. So, and here it is. It's scroll number 3, and it's called I Will Persist Until I Succeed. And I thought that's perfect for today, because that's what we got to have. Like, this is the market of persistence. This is the market of perseverance. Okay. This is the market of skilling up. So it says, in the Orient, young bulls are tested for the fight arena in a certain manner. Each is brought to the ring and allowed to attack a picador who pricks them with a lance. The bravery of each bull is then rated with care according to the number of time he demonstrates his willingness to charge in spite of the sting of the blade. There are so many analogies there, I can't even start to it. But what Rebecca Terry just said is the sting of saying what she said, open to the fact that they may have said, we're going to find another realtor. But they didn't, did they? They chose her. But what would the sting have been? The sting would have been that she's going to say that over and over again, even if people say, well, then we'll find another realtor, right? So then it said, henceforth, I will recognize that each day I am tested by life in the same manner. If I persist, if I continue to try, if I continue to charge forward, I will succeed. I will persist until I succeed. I was not delivered under this world in defeat, nor does failure course in my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let's stop right there. Who's in your environment? Remember what I said about what Ryan said, is that it was his peers, his colleagues, that were bringing him down and speaking negative energy, right? So I will not hear, nor not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. There's some really good ones in that chapter. So I'm going to encourage you guys to look at the chapter. It's called chapter 10 of the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, the scroll marked number 3. All right. Any last comments, questions, ahas, thoughts that I can help you with before we call it a day?
I want to make anyone who's having any KV Core learning issues or anything, I'm an open book. I'll help you as much as I can. You can go to my Zippy Zappy group and join that, or just contact me and I'll get you guys a head start on KV Core.
All right. That's very nice of you, Kevin. Thank you. Do you want to put your cell phone in the chat? Oh, you just did? Okay, good. You did put something in the chat. Yeah. All right. Any other last comments? I'm in. Kevin, who's, oh, okay. Gary Mason. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
guys, grab
Kevin,
his
I'm
phone.
going to take you up on that. I
Sweet.
need some KV Core love.
I'm here for loving.
Yeah. Look at Rochelle's smile. It's huge now. Thanks for you, Kevin, for doing that. So, all right. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to let you all go. Have a wonderful week. Beth, have fun in Disneyland, honey. You know, it's one of my favorite places in the world. So
I know I'm gonna miss you.
who are you going with?
Hannah's here. We had the quadruplets last weekend. We have Hannah, her husband, his brother, and his
Nice.
wife here.
Nice.
they're
That
already down
sounds
there.
fun.
I'm
Oh,
waiting
that's
for Paul
good.
to get off the phone.
Good. Yeah. Stay till 1 a.m. like we did. Love you.
Yeah, I will.
All right. See you guys all some of you next week in Dallas. Oh, shoot. I will be on an airplane.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, wait, are we all going to do this live?
I just realized that I'm going to be on an airplane. Okay, we'll send out a notice that we need to move the call. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Rick. I thought, okay, it's on Thursday. Oh, it's over Thursday. So we're on Friday. But Friday's a travel day. I'm like, how are we going to do that?
Yeah, most of us will be on an airplane. Okay, I'll figure something out and I'll notify you all. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye,
Rick.
guys.
Awesome call.
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.